This episode of Distraction is sponsored by Landmark College, offering comprehensive support for students with learning disabilities, ADHD, and ASD. Learn more at lcdistraction.org. Landmark College, we teach differently. Hello, this is Dr. Ned Hallowell with a mini episode of Distraction. When our wonderful producer, Sarah Girton, proposed to me that we do an episode on gender-neutral dining, I said, "What is that?" And then she showed me a couple of articles on gender-neutral dining, and it turns out there is such a thing as gender-neutral dining. It's a dining where all efforts are made to eliminate any reference to gender. So the diners are not, the women are not served first, their orders are not taken first, they are not treated any differently from the men, and any reference to gender is eliminated, and there is no priority or presumed higher or lower pecking order given to anyone based on gender. And, I think that's a fine idea. But my major response was, my goodness, how fast the world is changing. I mean, every time I turn around, there's some new tradition being changed. And it's all for the good. It's all for people being allowed to be themselves. And I think that's wonderful. I think it's absolutely wonderful that you can be who you are without feeling ashamed. Of course, we've got a long way to go because it's hard to bring people into change. I'm sure there are people who scoff at gender-neutral dining and they insist that women should be treated with deference and so on and so forth. So, change comes slowly. But I think these changes are wonderful. It's just, it makes your head spin a little bit how fast change is coming. I think it is wonderful. It's all part of an effort for people to be given a chance to be who they are and not be treated in a way that makes them feel awkward. I remember my old teacher, William Alford. He was my tutor at Harvard, and he was really about the kindest person I ever knew. And he would say the ultimate way of being polite was never to appear awkward. So if someone was doing something that was socially incorrect, you would go right ahead and do it with them, rather than correct them or allow them to stand out for being rude or foolish. You'd just go right ahead and join them in, belching in public or whatever it might happen to be, and it was just his way of always wanting people to feel comfortable and not feel embarrassed. And I think that's what's ultimately behind all of the best of all of these attempts to help people feel comfortable being who they are and not feel singled out. So I'm all for gender-neutral dining. I'm all for the changes to help people feel comfortable in their own skin. It's just, I know for sure it's hard for most people to change the way they do things. And so there'll be pushback, and there'll be protest, and there'll be people scoffing and saying, oh, this is ridiculous. But it'll happen. It'll come. I do know it's fun to be alive these days. It's fun to see the kinds of changes that are happening. It can be kind of scary to be alive these days because with change comes anxiety. And that's why we need each other so much. That's why we need to stay connected. And, my favorite line, never worry alone. But these are all steps in the right direction. So enjoy your gender-neutral dining. Enjoy whatever change you're in the midst of, and if it makes you anxious, just talk to someone about it and never worry alone. Well, this is Dr. Ned Hallowell. If you have a question for me or a show idea for us, email it to connect@distractionpodcast.com. Or better yet, call us and leave a voicemail. Call 844-55-CONNECT and leave us a message. We need to hear from you. We look forward to hearing from you. We want to hear from you. So 844-55-CONNECT or email at connect@distractionpodcast.com. Distraction is produced by Collisions, the podcast division of CRN International. Collisions, podcasts for curious people. Our sound engineers and editors are the wonderfully talented Pat Keogh and Chris Latham, and our producer is the multi-talented and unbelievably brilliant Sarah Curtin. This is Dr. Ned Hallowell for Distraction.